link to what? Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, from India, if I'm not mistaken. Have you been working on something this week? Anything special? Oh wow, really nice. Yeah, send me the link. I'm not sure if you can share the link on YouTube chat, to be honest, but please try. But yeah, I'm interested to have a look. Basically it's $10,000, and it basically means that it generates the income of $10,000. So it's like a goal, like a number, and yeah, we will see if we can hit that or not. And here I will share with you like how I develop stuff, and like I will just share the journey of trying to make something like a product or maybe some service that can make money for that much, let's say. So that's the whole idea. And SaaS, I'm not sure if you know it, but it means like software as a service. It's basically just yeah, like you sell your software, and that's basically the service that you provide, and you get paid for it. Yeah, so perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the subscription. Yeah, I'll probably also share some videos. I mean, that's the whole idea. At least I already recorded maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, but in the upcoming weeks I will start to share them with you, so you might also find the topic interesting, or like maybe it gives you some ideas. And so, but yeah, thanks for the sub. Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. I think that the links would be blocked or something. do you have Discord? Maybe I can, or you can also send it, I don't know, word by word instead of sending the whole link. And there I can like check the website. I think if you try to paste the entire link, it would get blocked, so that people, for example, don't come here and like just spam some links. I think that's the idea, but maybe you can share it with me like word by word so I can have a look. The project is a bit, to be honest, at the starting stages, but the idea is to make a service that people would come and say, hey, I have this, for example, business, it's about blah blah blah, like fitness or whatever, and then our service would generate them some automated blogs based on their for example, specific business. And then this would be like fully automated, and they would, for example, receive one blog post every day. So at the moment, this is also the landing page that we are trying to build. And I mean, I just built the whole like the whole first initial landing page idea to just see it with Lovable. I'm not sure if you also know it or not. Yeah, it's like basically you just type something that I want this website, and then it would just give you the like the code and all of these things. But then of course it doesn't get it's not an actual website, because you have to like host it somewhere on a server or something. But yeah, that's the whole idea at the moment. You can also maybe have a look. I will send you the link. Yeah, I will type it. I don't understand. What do you want me to paste? Alright, send it and I will check it out. Yeah, to be honest, I don't see it. This is my... like, this is the chat that I'm having. One second. Yeah, so this is the chat, but I don't receive any links. The only link is my link that I shared. I think YouTube would just blocks it. Okay, so good. What is Ultra Viewer? Do you have Discord? Maybe you can also send it to me in Discord. Is my server down? Okay, I think my server is also down. Okay, let's do it like this. Ultra viewer. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, you can also go here and then type your stuff, paste the link, and then hit save here on top. And then tell me to refresh so I can see your message, like your link. It's ultra viewer. Is it like a screen sharing platform or what? Safe remote control. You can just go to the link that I shared with you. Oh. Yeah. when you typed it in, let me know, because I think I have to refresh or something. Basically, you just go to the link that I sent with you. I sent it in the chat, this one, and then you just type in, for example, here is the link, and then you press save here, and you just, yeah, okay, 1 2 3 1 2 3, save. Also, I think my server yeah, I think my server is also down at the moment, so I will try to restart it. Okay, so okay, okay, one second, I will be right back. Okay. Okay, let me check. Yeah, I have it. Bro, this is really super shady website. You can also, I don't know, like the same way. You can maybe like take a screenshot, upload it somewhere, and then share it. Like again, with the same method. Like this is like super shady website for me. Yeah, but the URL, it's the link is, I don't know what's this. Yeah, I will search it here. Okay, 1 second. Shouldn't I have a OneDrive live? Okay, so it's like a URL shortened format. Okay, don't judge me trying to be extra secure here. 1 second, 1 second. I will check it from a virtual machine if it's okay. I mean, basically you also have a browser there, but I mean, it's really strange, but yeah, for me the URL is a little bit strange, so I'm not gonna click it directly here, but give me a second. Okay, so his name, this one. Sorry, echo, and then here I'll open this. Got your link here. Okay, let's see. It gives not found. There's also the same one from here, right? It doesn't open. I mean, you also shared it with... Okay. Once again. Just also to double check with you. Yeah, you also shared it like this. But the problem, I mean, if this is the link that you are sharing, this is only available on your own machine, on your laptop or computer. So basically, I cannot view this URL. Because this is like the J, like plug of j.html, and it's also like lives in your C drive and this location. So I think if you share it with me, I can't really access it because it's just on your machine. You can also, if it's an HTML, you can also upload it maybe on Google Drive or somewhere and then share the link with me. Okay, so all right, yeah, the server was down, I guess. I hit a restart and let's see. Okay, so now it's online. Okay, the server is online, the website is not loading. Also shut this down. Okay, No, I don't have Ultra Viewer. I mean, this was also the first time that I heard the like Ultra Viewer, to be honest. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so at the moment, just to give you an idea what the problem is, the website is down, but my server is running. So let's find out. Okay, let's do a Docker PS. So, one second. Okay, so Docker PS is just a command that, for example, if you have Docker installed on your machine or your server, you can just take a look at the images or like the containers that are running. So at the moment, I'm also running my like the website as a Docker image, but it's not working. But so this would be this one, but it is up from 10 minutes ago. Let me see if I can access it inside the VPS. So if I say curl curl localhost 1000. Okay, so I get something in return, and if I view it, for example, search for private kernel. Okay, so this was like a scenario that it could also happen to you. My server just got restarted. I had to restart it because it was not responding, and then I couldn't access my website here because it was said like this can't be reached. But then I logged into my VPS and I sent a curl request to the port that my server for my website is running, and then I can easily, I just got the some content, which means that my my website is available on my server. It's running okay, but for some reason I can't access it from outside of the server. Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking what can be the reason. Okay, I get it here. Okay, one second. To start live in YouTube, you have to create a channel first. And on your channel, you can like hit like create, and then you can just press go live there. But first you have to have a YouTube channel. I think if you go to your profile and like if you have a YouTube opened, on top right corner you see your profile image. If you click there, you can go to profile, I think, and then you can like start your channel somewhere, and then you can go live. Okay. Okay, back to the problem. Perfect. Okay, it was easier than I thought. Yeah, so the problem is I'm using one website manager named AA panel. This is like the idea is that when you want to, for example, host your website on a server, you install this, and then this will give you this UI for managing your website. For example, you can say run this on this specific port, or if someone tried to access this port, block the incoming request. So in general, it's like a manager for your server and also for your website. And part of this is also Nginx, which is basically kind of like HTTP server. And so when you request, it just sees that, okay, this is a request, and then this is the thing that I have to serve it to the person that wants to access this URL, for example. Anyway, I'm using AA panel, and it's, to be honest, gave me a lot of headache for managing my server, but at the moment I'm keeping it there because it's like really I mean, there were some parts that I couldn't really figure out. I didn't want to spend more time, so I just kept it like it is. But it's also really painful sometimes. And you also saw one of the problems. Yeah, my website was not loading, and then I just restarted the service of AA panel, and that kind of fixed the problem that we had. So yeah. There's also some Linux commands. Systemctl status bt just checks the status of that service. For example, bt was the name of the AA panel service that was running on my server, and then I just used systemctl restart bt, which means that it restarts that service, and then it just reloaded and everything was again working good. So yeah, that's also one live troubleshoot, I think. So okay, now what are the requirements to make a server? Basically, server is like just a computer somewhere on the internet, and you can look into, okay, first of all, if you want to try with starting with servers, the easiest thing would be to install something like this. This is like a virtual machine, and basically it gives you the feeling that you own a server, because if you buy a server, then you also will get some username and password, and then you have to also use it in this format, like just in terminal most of the times, and doing some commands and trying to run the services that you want. For example, if you have a website, you wanted to like run it in your server so other people can access it through internet. So the requirement is basically nothing to have a server. You can just go and type in for VPS server, and then there's usually many options to choose from. So I don't know, for example, if you take this website, you can see the prices and stuff. So like it would be easy to have a server, but then the question is, what do you want to do with it? And if you want to start with servers, instead of buying it directly, you can learn how to use like try to install Ubuntu server in VMware or like any virtualization platform. For example, since I'm using VMware, if I wanted to, let's say, start with servers again, I would go and say Ubuntu server download, and then I would download it, install it on my VMware exactly like I did before, and now you can see the result here. And this would kind of act like a server for you. It's now like running on my machine, but it kind of exactly simulates how you might have a like when you get a server, it would exactly feel the same thing, because you have to run commands there and kind of build your website or application inside the server, mostly using a terminal. So maybe the better question is like, what sort of things you need to like start your journey with servers, and that's like first of all a basic understanding of Linux commands, and just I think installing your first Ubuntu server or like Ubuntu machine. This would be like the first step, and then next would be trying to connect to it via like using terminal. Yeah, I think this would be like the starting point, and there's also many stuff out there for reading and trying to understand Linux. I will also share one thing here. There was this book, command line. I think the PDF is also available online. And if you want to start with servers or like get into like building some knowledge around it, how to run your server, or like you want to just figure out if it's for you or not, you need some basic understanding of Linux commands. And this book, I also will share the link in the chat. Yeah, maybe you can also have a look, and this would be like a really good starting point if you don't have any background in Linux. Okay, what else? What do you mean with Nix? ZYX? Okay, yeah, so if you want to like start with Linux, if you want to build some knowledge, I think this would be like a great book to start with. Okay, and yeah, installing your Ubuntu server or like any Linux distribution and VMware would also be like a good start. Okay, now back to the project. I tried to basically build a bit more around the project. So basically, let me also give you a quick introduction because I see some people joined. Also nice to have you. Give me 1 second. Okay, so to let you know what exactly am I doing here. We have a website named privatekernel.com, and we're now trying to build a service. And basically the main, we have this blog section that's basically all automated blogs based on news, and we are trying to kind of sell this as a service to people. And we want to kind of reformat this whole website as a service that people can come and say, hey, I want to have a like generated blogs every day or like every week, and then we can basically provide them with this service. So this is the idea. At the moment, the implementation is done using N8N. For example, this would be the main workflow that's basically generating the blogs and sharing it on the website, basically posting it here. You can see it. And this is now basically done via N8N. But the problem is there is no users. This is like just a single workflow that only we are using, and that's like no business at all, no service to sell at all. So we need to reformat this in like a new way. And at the moment, the thing that we are doing is trying to take this N8N workflow, the steps and the process, and turn it into pure Python, like using, like implement it directly with Python. And then doing this, we can increase the performance, the scalability. What I mean by scalability is that, for example, if you're running it for 100 of users, then everything would be still okay. You know, your server would be loaded, but then the resources, the CPU, the RAM, it's like working and everything is going good to handle 100 users. And this is the idea. And then to achieve this, we have to make it in this format, like try to like build it with direct Python or like direct coding. So that's the whole idea at the moment. And one of the, also I have to add this here, that one of the reasons that really pushed me into this direction was that the n8n workflow sometimes runs into errors and make the server crash. And I think the reason that my server crashed maybe 30 minutes ago or so was exactly also running the workflow. So that's also something that I really didn't like, because it's really the usage of memory and CPU, it just peaks so much. And since I'm also running it on a $2 server, sometimes it's not really, I mean, it's definitely not a good choice. So I'm trying to build everything again in Python, trying to make things more optimal, like improve the performance, and also shape it into a product and a service that we can sell to people who are interested in. Also, if you are new here, I would appreciate your support to subscribe. I will share many stuff on my channel. I have like a few videos already recorded, and I will share it in the upcoming weeks. So if you're interested in seeing the progress, trying to understand things like Docker or like how to make things scalable, if you are thinking about starting a service yourself, but maybe don't know where to start, or like feeling a bit unmotivated, maybe subscribe, and maybe the journey that I'm going through and I'm sharing on my channel will also give you some motivation or like some inspiration to start your stuff. So hit the like, hit the subscription, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. So yeah, part of the transition from n8n to Python was that I had to, okay, so in n8n you can say, for example, run this workflow every, let's say every day at 8 o'clock in the afternoon, like in the evening, and then this would kind of be like some sort of scheduling that you want to run one workflow at that specific time. And then if I want to turn it into a like Python version of things, I have to have a server, something that is constantly there, and then I can say, hey, I want this workflow, this script to be scheduled for, I don't know, that time. So basically I have to have some sort of server. I mean, that's the whole idea. And then when we have the server, we can then say, I want to schedule it at that time, schedule this, like do this at that time, and so. And I already created the server, of course, not all of it, just part of it. The part regarding the, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, regarding the scheduler, and of course the main server as well. Let me see. Yeah, so at the moment we have kind of like the baseline. You can think of it that from the n8n workflow that you would run, let's say 8 o'clock in the evening, we now have this server that is constantly there, and it's waiting to just run some workflow. We say schedule this job for that time, and then it just every day at that time just runs the workflow. So I built the server at the moment, and it's working locally. I mean, it's not complete now, of course, it's just some scheduler, something that I can say do this at that time. And I built a basic website, and I also have the Docker file here. And now the idea is to take it on my server, basically make it live not only on my machine but on my server, so I can directly run jobs on my VPS. To do that, I have to add this as a service in my Docker Compose. So Docker Compose is basically, oops. Yeah, so Docker Compose is basically a file that you can say, hey, run these services for me, and these services are always Docker images. For example, on my server, this is my actual server that you also saw the website a couple of minutes ago, and also the one that just crashed. But we have these services that you can see that, for example, here there's CRXNG, there is Tiny Server that basically handles the small things like scraping a web page. And for example, we have the API app, which kind of handles when we want to post some blogs on our website. We kind of send a blog post to here. And for example, we have the admin app, for kind of having the admin dashboard, trying to like organize the posts, like delete them, add them, and so. And we also have the website and the watchtower, which I will tell you in short, and also N8N, which for example you saw now, and also this file browser that's like something is just to test some stuff. I added it, and also MongoDB. So as you can see, it's like many different things, many different services that are running on my server at the moment, and I have to add this new server that I want to run on my basically this application here. I have to add it into this file on my server and say, hey, this is now one of the services that you have to run and keep alive on the server. So now we want to do that. So basically, there's also another piece of the puzzle that I will tell you now. So every time I change something here on the code, no, I can't see the link if you shared something. You mean in the file? Where was it? 1 second. Link. You share something, I don't see it here. Yeah, so another piece of the puzzle is the CI/CD pipeline that you're having. So CI/CD idea is basically you change your code on your machine, like in your development environment, and then you basically push it on GitHub, let's say, and then GitHub automatically creates one Docker image out of it based on the Docker file that you provided with. And then on your server, you can keep pulling these images. You can, for example, in a 5-minute interval, you can say, okay, do any of my services now have a new image? And if yes, you can pull that image and then deploy it instead of the old image. So this was also the part of the job of Watchtower that you saw here. And basically it just keeps looking at my let's say Docker images, and then see if something changes. It just pulls it and uses it as a instead of the old one, it uses the new image. So let me also show you my GitHub. Let's say yeah, so here, for example, we can see that this is for the last run, the last time that I pushed something, it just ran all of these things and then created one package here, one Docker image. And then this will also be something that we do for all of our services, like most of our services. And then this Watchtower would just request the GitHub or the basically the registry, and it would ask, hey, is there a new image? And if yes, it just pulls the new image. And this is the whole idea of CI/CD. It just triggers one thing after the other. You basically type something, you make new changes on your local machine, on your environment, on your IDE, and then you just push it on GitHub, and then the new image would be created, and then it just shares it, and then the Watchtower on your server will just pull the new image and then just deploy it. So it's really convenient way of doing things, and this is also one of the super important good parts of Docker, I would say. Okay, take a look at the let me see. Netlify. Netlify. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, what's the password? You can also write it in the file if you don't want to share it on in the chat. You can also write it in the file, and then I will just refresh it off the screen and then see the password there. Okay. Yeah, so at the moment I will add a new service here. By the way, I'm also interested in knowing if you have any experience, if you guys, anyone who is here, if you have any experience with Docker, or to be honest, I don't have really a good idea what's my audience. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining too much, or is it like something that it's okay. Just let me know. I would really appreciate the feedback. Okay, so to add the new service, I'll just copy this and then paste it here. Okay, let me see. Okay, I got the password. Okay. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, nice. So it's like a portfolio for yourself, right? Passion. Oh, nice. Really cool. What's this? Download blog. What does this part do? This download blog? Should I click it? Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, then yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's really good to have a portfolio, I guess. Yeah, nice. Good stuff. Okay, now a bit of the Docker. Okay, let's see. So also here, for example, in the Docker Compose that you are defining our new service, this block generation server, we say this is the image that you have to take and, for example, restart it always unless it's stopped. So for example, if you restart your server, then this service will also automatically be up and running again. And then some environments, and then some end file, which I have to also make this, I guess. And then the volumes for mounting stuff data. Labels. Also this label here. Here. Yeah, this label here, for example, it's also something that you have to set up for this watchtower. So you say that this watchtower enable is equal to true, so that the watchtower will just also have a look always at this image as well. So for example, if I set it to false or remove it, then watchtower would not care about this image, just ignores it. Okay, and yeah, I'm not sure about these parts though. I think we don't need this. I'm gonna delete it. If you ask, I will make it for you. Yeah, that's kind. I will let you know. But yeah, at the moment probably not. Okay, now let's see what happens if I run this. Okay. Okay, and then I should do. Okay, so I just added the new service here, this block generation server, and I would type docker build -d up, and to be honest, I think I'm not sure about the command. Docker up -d. Okay, you have to check it out. What was the command? Oops. Docker compose up -d. Yeah, I also have to make the environment file. Now I just keep it empty. Okay. All right, and then okay, so I just added the once again. I just added the service, and then we want to, and I also created this environment file. At the moment it's empty, but I created it. And usually this is the file, by the way, that you add your, for example, passwords, API key and stuff, and then your server or like your container can access those. This is the part that you have to like. This is where you add it. At least where I add it. I'm not sure if it's like there's a better option to do, but this is the way that I handle, for example, these secrets like the API key or like the password somewhere or like username and these sort of things. Okay, so again, docker compose up-d bug. Okay, it's running it, and check the project text. You mean here on the website or what? Okay. Also, I answered you, Jay, in the in the file. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it says that the container is pulled and it's running. So let's check. So we say, okay. Okay, so here we have some endpoints running. For example, if I say I want to see this, okay, so the health works, the health endpoint works, and it says that the status is healthy. So okay, now we pulled our image from our GitHub registry where I just pushed the code, and then it just created, like, pulled the image from there, and then it's now running. And what else can we do? Okay, I also want to show you the documentation that we have. Also, another cool thing to know, at the moment I'm running this server, at the moment I'm running this server, the one that we just created in using Python, and also pushed it on GitHub, and we now have it here thanks to our CI/CD pipeline. Is now running. The status is healthy, and let me zoom in a bit. Okay, yeah, the status is healthy, and now I want to show you some documentations. In the code, we had that this documentation is available here, but the thing is, it's running on the local host of my server, and I don't have access to it from internet. So if I go here, for example, if I just take this and try to go to this URL, of course there's nothing happening because it's just trying to access it on my machine, but then the server is running on my server. So somehow I have to like go around this, kind of tell my server that, hey, it's me, let me in. And if I also try to, one second. Okay, so it's running on my server, and then you might say, okay, instead of going into localhost, go to like the IP address of your server and then try to access it, because now it's running on my server, so maybe I can access it like this. But I still can't access it because my server is kind of blocks this port. It's a good practice of security that you block your ports. If you don't use it, then just block it, so people can't like have access to it, or like it just reduces the risk in general. So by default it's blocked unless you unblock it. And now I can also not access my server that's running on my the container that is running. I can't access it, so I have to somehow go around this mechanism and say, like, kind of tell my server that, hey, it's me, let me in, like, let me access this thing. And to do that, we use something called the SSH port forwarding, and basically you say, whenever any request to my local host, send it to the server. And then since it's using SSH for tunneling and I have access to my server SSH, then my request will just go in. So basically SSH is like a green card that like it shows my firewall, my server, that, hey, this is the request that is coming from SSH. It's secured, it's authenticated, it's everything is kind of legit. So just let in this request. So now I say to forward any request from my local host on port 9100 to this port on my server. And if I come here now and type in localhost, we see that we get the documentation. So basically what we just saw was that before I couldn't access it. There was no local host. But now I said that any request to my local host, send it to the server and then also send it using SSH. So my server knows that this request is legit. It's coming from me because I already set up my SSH. And then it just lets in the request. And then I can also basically communicate to my local host of my server, even though you, for example, knowing my IP address, knowing the port, you cannot access it because it's hiding behind firewall and you don't have the SSH access. So that's the whole idea. It's also really cool. And you can also use it like almost everywhere. So also something that if you're interested, you can look around a bit more. Okay, so now we have the documentation. I just wanted to okay, I will check it in a minute. Just 1 second. Yeah, we have this documentation that also it was really cool that all of this documentation was generated automatically. So basically, I didn't do anything. It's like a library or something. Anyway, we can see all of our like endpoints here. What each one of them does. For example, if you send something here, it just creates or updates. Yeah, it just creates or updates a new job, and also like other stuff that like our server is now doing. This is the server that it's gonna replace N8N, and this part is mainly the scheduler part. For example, you see that this slash scheduler / jobs, it's to like access this scheduler endpoint. And for example, if you want to schedule something, this is the way that we're gonna do it. Okay, so now it's like a really simple, basically like the foundation of the server. This scheduler is now living on my VPS. So this is like a really foundational thing that we had to do, and now we have it. We set it up, and it's working. Next, I am thinking to try to actually generate some stuff. Okay, I will think about it in the meantime. Okay, check the text again. Okay, checking the text. Okay. Oops. So now we have ported the scheduler on our server, and I'm thinking that this would be something that I continue. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so let's quickly I will also quickly show you maybe one example. Let me see. Okay, so let's see an example. Application. Okay. And Python workflow.py. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so now we're going to see one example of generating the blog post. This is like just a simple Python script that just runs the blog generation pipeline. And there we kind of gather some stuff around from the news, and we say, hey, this is a news, here is a news, try to figure out like a good blog with different audience, for different point of views, and this will generate us some blogs. Blog posts. You can also print it here. Okay. Okay, let's see. I hope nothing breaks. Okay, coroutine was never awaited. I think because of here. You have to import async IO and then, yep, use the run. think I changed so much that I can't. Run example. Do like post. Okay. So this is a problem that we had. Yeah, just as a testing thing, I added this return, like early return, like the rest of the function would not run. But yeah, let's see what happens now. Okay, so we are getting some RSS feed, basically some of the news pages, they have this RSS feed. Basically it's a XML, so that people won't keep browse or like keep scraping their main web page. They say this is the RSS feed, and sometimes the XML is also updated faster than the actual website. That's also something crazy. I can also maybe show you one example. Yeah, for example, this is the RSS for New York Times, and then as you can see, we have this XML format that it just says, for example here, one item here, OpenAI raised to quell concerns over its finances. And this is like the title, this is the link. So in general, most of the articles are recent articles are like inserted here. And then instead of scraping the main web page, we can scrape this. And then it's really good formatted, so we can really nicely use it. Yeah, so for example, now okay, second. Oops. Yeah, so we are running the RSS, we are fetching the RSS feed and we are filtering it. And now, for example, we're saying skipping the idea, the Google custom AI chips versus NVIDIA due to low search volume estimate. So we said this is a topic that is maybe not that much like search. There's not much search volume regarding this, and we say we skip it, so we kind of don't generate a blog regarding this. And now we have our blogs. Let me take this. Okay, so we got our blogs now. Let's hide this. Okay, give me a second, Jay. I will check it now. But just to see, for example, one of them. Okay, so this is the meta description. So okay, oops. Okay, so we have this, for example, here meta description that Rockstar Games had confirmed GTA 6 new release date is now November this, and it's also interesting news. And I think before they said it was May 2026. Anyway, yeah, so we have this meta description, which means like the abstract of the blog, and later we have this content here. So the content starts here and goes all the way here. So let me Python 3. Oops. I want to show you the final results, but I messed up copying it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, anyway, sorry for that. I wanted to make it like a, because at the moment this is the markdown format, and I wanted to make it so that we can see the results. Last try. Am I missing something? Okay. Thanks. Okay. Better now. Continue on, and then okay, finally. Sorry for the delay. Anyway, now we have it. It's like something like this, and we also have the link, for example, here. If I click it, which brings me into this web page. What's this? Okay, anyway, yeah, we have the link to the blog article, or like the article on The Guardian, and the rest will also like follow. It just goes through that, talks about the shift and then so on. So basically it just gets some news information, and it just say, okay, which of these are interesting now, and then generates the blogs basically based on those. So this is something that is now is living on a server, and yeah, next I wanted to kind of remove the block generation part that is done using n8n and use the server, the application on the server instead. Okay. By the way, guys, if you're new here, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe. I have some recorded stuff that I already will share in the coming weeks, and I also will share the journey, of course, what I learned and what I built with you guys. There's almost everything involved, like automation, like coding, Docker, managing your VPS and stuff. So if you're interested, if you think that the topics can help you, hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Okay, let me check the text. Okay, and okay. Okay, I updated the file, Jay, if you want to check it. Okay, so this is the current setup, current status. Next time, as I said, I will terminate yeah, I will terminate this part, this part of things, which basically the block generation. Now we are having handled it on our server, as you also saw. Some blocks would get generated, so I kind of want to terminate this part of n8n, and then if you see that everything is working good, I will go on and terminate the rest of it as well in the upcoming streams. And that's the status at the moment and what we will be doing next time. But yeah, in general, if if you would like to see anything special, like any particular stuff about the website, or like ideas or anything that you have, it would be nice to share it here. I might I will make a video about it if I see that this is something that I can talk about, or share with you. That's almost it for today. Just again, the final thing, I'm kind of starting this YouTube journey, so I will also share stuff that I learned during the way of trying to creating this service. So if you think the topics are interesting, like handling your server, doing this automation stuff, generating something, or like making something into your service, like trying to making a business out of things. If you're interested in those topics, hit the subscribe, and if you like the stream so far, hit the like. I'm looking forward to like talking to you next time. This will probably be next week on Friday again, and we continue to develop some stuff, and we try to build again. Let me check. Okay, I also updated the file again, but in any case, thank you for anyone who tuned in. Yeah, try, like, if you could just again, next week we'll probably have the same concept here with newer stuff, and I think removing this part of the n8n would be like really interesting, because now we have basically the backend that handles the generating the blogs, and I can start to kind of terminate parts of n8n, which I really like to just like get rid of as soon as I can. Yeah, so that's basically it. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate your support, and again, hopefully I will see you next week. Hit the like, hit the subscribe again. Thank you so much for your support, and hopefully I will see you next week again. Thank you, take care, have a good night, have a good day, and see you.